first of all, man, I'd like to welcome you to the show, man. We try to do our best to get some information that's very valuable and put it back out there. Um, and basically, I knew, saying you been doing your thing on the poetry tip for a long time, man. And I was like, I gotta go holler at JP about this right here. Um, and it's basically it's poetry and rap or music and art of R&B and rap and hip hop dying. Because the reason that I asked that is a lot of the poetry that used to be in the music, they not it's not necessarily from a poet's perspective the way that they putting out some of the music. So it's the poetry and music dying.
Oh yeah, I definitely say that it is. It just seems like nowadays, you can get a hit song off a hook and the beat, and you don't even really have to have a substance on what you're saying. People got rap songs that say peanut butter jelly time.
True.
And just moaning and stuff and grumbling on the track.
Right.
As long as it got a 5 beat.
That mumble rap, that's what they calling it.
Right, but as long as they got a 5 beat, it really just kind of it help out, because you don't really listen to what a rapper's saying like you trying to hear what a poet's saying.
Right.
But you still got poets in the game like Kendrick Lamar, J.
Cole. Oh, that's a fact. Facts.
Yeah,
and
so I feel like it's a couple of rappers that still have that element of poetry in they spit, but overall, I do agree that poetry is dying in rap music.
Wow, and the reason that I asked that is because I see a lot of artists, they're getting away from the art of it, and they're so much into social media, and it's kind of taken away from their imagination of some of the artists, because you'll see everything instead the imagination of the artists, like Soulja Boy, Chris Brown fight or whatever. They getting away from the art or whatever of the music to go and dive into fight. I mean, I don't even understand that. So that's the reason that I asked. And I wonder, you got the artists like Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole that can block all of that out and still be a poet or be an artist. You know what I mean? So what's wrong with people like that'll not necessarily stick to the art but get away from it too much and mess themselves up?
I just feel like it's a distraction. It's easy to get sidetracked by likes and mentions and hashtags and everything else that go along with the social media presence. It's so easy to get caught up in that you really forget who you writing for or who you performing for in the first place. So that's one thing I try to do as an artist. I don't really get caught up in writing for anybody else. My pen and my notebook is for me. So when I share any of my work, or when I share anything that I've been working on, is really what I want to express, that what I've been dealing with. And a lot of rappers not transparent like that.
Yeah, that's true.
A lot of rappers not poets are able to really articulate themselves past a certain degree in order to get what they're trying to say out on that track. So I feel like that's one of the things. It's easier to get caught up in the social media beef than to really put yourself out on the track and really be transparent and put yourself on another level vocally or lyrically.
Man, and I definitely totally understand what you're saying, because it kind of makes me think that, or question, is the social media hindering some of these artists, like putting them in a virtual reality instead of them, talking to people like poets are in front of a podium most of the time, and some of these artists, you'll see them, they still not directly in contact with the fans or whatever. They on a big stage or whatever and away from it. So it's the social media kind of creating a virtual reality, and they are kind of like missing out on the one-on-ones with some of the artists and getting the energy that fans always have for artists that they like. Are they losing that?
Well, no, I don't feel like it. I mean, social media are fun for anybody, not just an artist. You know what I'm saying? Social media are
Okay.
fun for the normal neighbor that live next door to make it seem like she got everything, and she live right next door to you. She ain't really flexing like she is.
Right.
But overall, I think in general, social media really helped to me anyway, because like I've been able to network with other artists on social media that I probably never would have had a chance to check out or network with in person, and vice versa. Artists that hit me up after they seen some of my work that I never would have probably spoke to in South Carolina or something like that. Just
That's
networking
amazing.
with me over social media.
And no, I was saying that's amazing. You know what I mean? And I don't know if that, I guess I'm using that virtual reality concept gives them um well, some artists they use it in a different way. But is it giving them confidence that, like, all right, well, I mess with them such and such because of this, or because of that, or because I can actually see that they are authentic? I mean, it helps validate also, so it's not all bad, right?
Right, it's not all bad. I mean, some of it, the social media is just whoever is using is a tool. So some people
Right.
can use a tool for good, just like some people can use
That
a
is,
tool to
oh
help
man,
benefit them
you hit the nail on the
another way.
head with that.
Yeah, so it just really depends on who hand that tool is in. It's going to really determine if social media is something that's beneficial, or if it's something that can, somebody can just be an internet gangster and not authentic or something
Yeah,
like that. So,
studio internet gangsters and the internet doing it for them today, man. I hope that, like, a lot of these artists, man, don't lose their passion with the combining the rap and the poetry, and that it don't die. Um, because that they need that passion whenever they deliver in the song. Because I mean, I got some songs that have stuck with me because of the poetry in it. Like, you go back to the legendary Tupac. He started off poetry, so you know.
right, Biggie, oh my God, Biggie is a poet. I don't care what nobody says.
No, definitely. Biggie is definitely. That was gonna be my next. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, I know it. That's why I was asking, is it dying? You know.
Oh, definitely. You don't really got a lot of rappers that's telling stories no more. With Biggie album, you can put Biggie album in and you can hit play, and you can go from the 10 Crack Commandments to What's Beef to you can really hear stories, and you can hear a rhyme scheme. You can hear like the poetry in the flow.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But nowadays you don't really got that, man. You got a hot beat. You got maybe 16, 32 count flow.
Right.
You got a hook. And then you got another 16, 32 count outro, and it's over with. And that's what you hear from pretty much everybody. And it's about the same thing, But I mean, we got to stop running behind the madness too.
Right, chasing it. Chasing the trends.
Right. If we start putting the rappers that's really the poets and the poets that's really the rappers and stuff on pedestals, and stop playing the peanut butter jelly time or the and all of that.
Yeah.
If we stop playing all that and
that's
glorifying that, say, hey, listen to these lyrics, man. Listen to this story. Listen to this amazing orator, this storyteller. The way he verses through this music, then that'll help set the stage for the real writers and the real poets, and take some of that shine away from people who really don't deserve it because they hide it behind the beat.
Right, and that's what I thought about when I was thinking about the actual question, because I'm like, dang, you know what I'm saying? If you in front of an artist or whatever and they delivering that poetry, I mean, like, you can actually get inside of their world or whatever. And the experience that, you know what I'm saying, you get from something like that, man, you live with it for a very long time because of that transfer energy. You feeling that, you know what I mean? And when poetry, they delivering, I'm talking about, you know what I mean? It's fire, man. And people can actually feel that, and it sticks with them for a long time. I want to read something to you. Erica Badu said, just in a quote, and I think my wife was telling me this, and I'm paraphrasing it a little bit. She said, "I would rather talk to someone with a processed hairdo and a natural mind than talk to someone with a processed mind and a natural hairdo."
Ooh,
I
that's
mean,
poetry.
yeah, you know what I'm saying. So, with that in mind, do a lot of these cats need to probably get more into their books? Cause like I'm gonna be starting up a book club for, it's called Kill the Fear Book Club. But do a lot of cats need to get back on the intellectual tip and actually dropping down some poetry, or is it something else that's not necessarily, they not dropping the poetry? It's so much going on to write from. I mean, like, but we ain't hearing it.
I mean, you got poetry that talk about every subject, just like you got rap that talk about every subject. In order to be able to articulate your feelings, in order to be able to know that you could say another word and it mean the exact same thing as this word, or you could take this phrase and you could move it around and you could say the same exact thing, but you could say it in rhythm and in cadence. You know,
Right.
you gotta educate yourself in order to be able to do that. That's not something that you just can sit there and it just come to you without you trying to find another word for this word, or
Right.
trying to really make this really fit how it's supposed to fit in this puzzle that you're trying to create. You know, so definitely, I don't know what to motivate somebody to get back in the books, because I mean, I work with kids, I work with little aspiring rappers and everything, and they just lazy. You know,
Yeah.
everybody feel like they're entitled to a hit now. Nobody really works
True.
for a hit
True.
anymore.
No,
So,
they
so
don't want
that's
to work for it. No.
exactly. So I mean, I don't know. I guess I would love to see people educating themselves more and picking up the books. And I think the book club is great. And I definitely hope that a lot of people really, you know, support that. But at the end of the day, I ain't really sure that as a people, you know, us
Right.
black men really motivated to read like we should and educate ourselves like we should.
Well, the reason that I want to do the book club is just to, I mean, make it look cool for kids. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they don't see anything like that or whatever. And like our literacy level in Alabama, if you look at the records, man, or you look at the statistics, it's not good. You know what I mean? And I was talking to a partner of mine.
Absolutely. I mean, I could do a show here in Birmingham, and I could spit some of my poetry with some big words in it, and I don't even get a lot of applause. And I could go to Texas and do the same poem, and everybody really feeling what I'm saying because of their
Wow.
literacy. They're able to understand some of the words. And
Right.
poets ask me all the time, why I wonder why the crowd in Alabama so rough. And you know, sometimes it might not even be that they don't want to support you. It's just Alabama is always battling between 49th and 50th when it comes to education and literacy.
Yeah.
Maybe somebody understanding what you're saying. Maybe you gotta
That's-
slow it
that's-
down or dumb it down a little bit
Oh,
more so they
man.
understand. You see where I'm coming from?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and that's exactly what I'm trying to speak to with with trying to do the Kill the Fear Book Club, because you know it's already been said and multiple times. Like, if you want to hide something from them, hide it in the book. You know. So not to kind of go on to the next subject or whatever, but it still pertains to books or whatever. And it's like my last question for you, man. I know you got to go. Poetry has stood the test of time since like the 1400s, 1500s, and now it's 2017. This virtual reality and the incoming new president elect, or our president now, Donald Trump, and then our first black president leaving the White House, depending on who you ask. Some of the worst presidents or questionable presidents have brought some of the best art out of artists. And is there anything that you see that is gonna like drive people to bring out the best out of them, like going through these next 4 years or whatever, as far as art? and how speak to how good it could be for some people to find some inspiration also.
I mean, the only inspiration we're really gonna have to be able to come up with is working together. I actually just read an article today about Donald Trump wanting to cut arts out of the federal budget.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I just read that, like, literally not an hour before you called me. You know, it was saying that Donald Trump want to take all the money that the government spends towards funding grants and things to mature art programs and stuff like that. He want to cut. And
Right.
I'm just sitting here thinking, like, if our resources are already small, and now they're about to get even smaller, what's the only way that we're going to be able to find motivation in something like that? And that's with each other. You know,
Right.
pushing each other and trying to, hey, man, if I don't got a pencil because we can't afford pencils no more, then you can use my pencil, you know?
Yeah.
Just being able to kind of motivate each other and try to find some kind of common ground to find that motivation. That's really the only way we're going to get through with these 4 years, because our president, I really don't feel like he got our best interests at heart. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
And when somebody don't have your best interest at heart, you can't really expect them to do anything to help benefit you progressing. So we got to look at it like, all right, Obama gone. We got Donald Trump now. You know, we got to come up plans together. Just like the day after he was elected, all these women all over the country got together and protested. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
We got to do that even on smaller scales, man. We got to come together, and if we want a program to work where we mentor some kids, we all got to come together and mentor these kids and get them right. Or if we do want to change somebody in office like Judge Hayes down here in Montgomery that just was hanging everybody because they didn't have money for tickets,
Wow.
we got to come together and we got to do something about it in order to make change, you know, and we still haven't really realized that yet. That's why I don't feel like right now it'll never be another modern day Martin Luther King, because we just all on different agendas, you know?
Yeah, and that's kind of what they wanted to do, especially with the when they labeled people as a title or color differential in that system, just to divide people. That it started a long time ago, and this, like, I understand what you're saying. There's no way we could fix it that quick or anything like that. So we got some work to do, you know. We really do. But yeah, man, with that, man, I want to wrap the show up, man. I appreciate your time, brother. I'm with you. Anything that you need, man, on some visuals or on anything I could do to help out with you and your movement, man. And I really want to congratulate you on the new job, man. Thanks for what you're doing for the kids. Keep doing your thing, man.
No problem, man. Appreciate it, man. Thanks for having me.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, y'all give it up for J.P., the poet.